Hello, hello, it's me again, Charlotte. Welcome to my home and happy Wednesday. I was working yesterday on doing a double snippet, and I don't know if I've ever seen this done before. I know I've never done this before. I have just mountains and mountains of little bits of lace like this that's starting to drive me just insane. And I was looking at that and thinking, I've got to do something with this, and just making one-on-one little snippets wasn't going to do it. I wanted something larger. So what I did is I took an 8x4 piece of cardstock, and I would recommend that if you're going to do this, use file folder cardstock that you really don't care about, because you're going to be covering it up anyway. And what I wanted to do was make it so that it would go inside a journal this way, and then when you turn the page, you would have it on this side as well. And yeah, I love it. I just love this idea. You could, if you wanted to, leave these as pockets or not. But I was also thinking that if you didn't want lace side by side, what you could do, because none of this is glued to the fold, you can see the fold right there, none of it is glued to the fold. You could open this up and very, very carefully take a either a scissor or an X-Acto knife would probably be better, and then just run it down there and have two pieces. But I just thought it was so cute. I used some of my seed beads. I used some of those stamps that I showed you in a previous video. I put a little die cut here, and then added a charm on this side and more seed beads. But I really, the idea was on a journal page. I just think that would be delicious. Really, really pretty. So this is what we are going to do today. And, you know, it used to be when you had little bits of lace like this, you'd throw them out. You wouldn't think anything of it, because what are you going to do with them? But it is to the point now where a tiny, tiny little scrap of lace like this with a bulb pin and maybe an old button, I mean, it, you know, this is treasure. So I end up with a lot of this, and I actually have like 3 big containers, and it's kind of beginning now to drive me a little batty. So I am just going to get started. What we want are layers. You could, if you wanted to, you could take this to the machine and you could stitch this. I did not stitch it, and I had a reason for not stitching it. Stitching would give you another layer, which is really pretty, but I find too sometimes that stitching takes away the beauty of the lace and also really flattens the project. And you can kind of see how this is a little bit raised. If I took and stitched it, it would flatten it out. This would have no give. It just, it's a look that I like sometimes, but on this particular project, it's not one that I wanted. So if you want to sew, please go ahead and sew. But today, we're not sewing. And I had picked up from a friend some of these felt. They were together in like half. I don't know if they were doilies or like half snowflakes, but I cut them up because they make a really fantastic base. So keeping in mind that this is going to go this way, so this will be the top. And for those of you that are curious to know how I came about it, the measurements, because this could be any size that you want. But 2 inches, my journals usually are like 8x6. So 2 inches inside a page works well for me. let's see, how are we gonna do this? Not like that. I think we'll go like this. 6 inches or 2 inches on a 6-inch page works really well for me. And so, and then my pages, because they're about 8 inches. And if this hangs off, it, you know, perfect. All the more beauty. So, yeah, that's where I came up with that. But this idea would be really pretty on, I think, just about any size. You're just going to go and alter your dimensions for whatever's going to work for what you're doing. So typically what I do is one side, kind of let it dry, turn it over and do the other, and just pick through. Somebody had sent me, really need to make some of this fabric with the writing on it, which I really, really love. And then I have little bits like this, which I love. So we are just going to start laying things down. Let's go for a piece of lace on this edge. And then if you don't have lace, don't worry about that. That's fine. Use paper. Paper is fantastic. Ribbon. You can mix your lace and your paper. I did that with this. This is paper, paper. This is paper die cut. There is no paper on this side, so that gives you a good look at what just lace and lace with some paper. You don't have that, but maybe you have a lot of fabric scraps. Pull out your fabric scraps and use those. Perfect. Sewing buttons on this would be really cute. I think probably because of the thickness and the glue, I probably wouldn't sew buttons, but you can take a needle and thread and make your button look like it has been sewn, and then just glue. Just take a couple stitches in your button and then just go ahead and glue your button down. You're the only one that's going to know that. Nobody else is going to know that. And if that's what you like, then that's what you should do. You know, it's funny, whenever you see any of us on making a video and we're working with Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix, it seems like we're always at the bottom. I guess that just goes to show you that we're working all the time. But it seems like we're always at the bottom of the jar glue. I want to try to make this so that you can't see this cardstock. And I like how you can see this piece under here. It just kind of peeks out through there. I like that effect. But we're just collaging. That's all we're doing here. We are taking pieces and just collaging them on top of one another. And I think really the idea is to build some depth. Got a nice piece of hand crochet work right here. That looks nice. Lots of texture. This gives a lot of texture, so I like that. And then I've got some netting, which is really perfect for if you're going to be doing any Halloween work. This netting, I think this netting, I got this on Amazon, and I might be able to list it in my favorite links down below. I'll see if I can. If I can still find it, we will do that. Let's put some pink in here. Why? Because I've got it. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. There was a time I would have just put this in the trash. I would have never kept it. Now I tend to keep everything, and I think that's how I'm ending up with that feeling of, ugh, there's just too much everywhere. Let's see if I've got a smaller piece of this. How would that look? Like that. Maybe let's put this there first. So you can see there is no right or wrong. There is really no rhyme or reason. It's just pieces here and there that you like. And you know, the cool thing about this too is that if you stitch, you could put pieces on a, I'm not really even sure what to call this, a long snippet, a double long snippet. I don't know, but you could put pieces of something special that you made into this so that when you look at it, you have a memory of something that you've done. I think that idea is really great. Maybe you're making a journal for a grandchild or a grandbaby, and maybe you've sewn something, maybe made a blanket, a quilt, an article of clothing, something like that. If you had leftover ribbons or fabric from that particular item that you did, how beautiful would that be to incorporate that into something like this, so that every time that you look at it, you would remember where that came from. I think that whole idea is a good one. Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, do I want to put seed beads on here? Maybe I want to do that. So I'm going to kind of hold back with that. Look at what I have, because this is really flat right here. So I'm thinking maybe I don't want something that's going to completely cover everything up. I'd like something to show. Ooh, here's a pretty piece. Here is really what I could do. Seeing that pretty? And that's all I had left. Maybe instead of seed beads, we could, ooh, okay, we are going, that's perfect. So let's do that. So you can see it's not hard. It isn't anything that is difficult at all. It's just a matter of getting your little things together and laying them out. And just for chatting, I sold all 5 of my what's in the box. For those of you that don't know, I decided to make all handmade items and sell them as a surprise. So you, in other words, if you purchased a box, you didn't know what was in the box, which I thought was a cool idea. Just the idea of receiving a surprise, I thought was really neat. And I've heard back from a couple people, but I haven't heard from everyone, and I'm kind of debating, do I want to do another? Both people that I heard from said definitely, you know, do another. And so I think I will. I think I will do one for September. I have a Artie Mae's design team project that I need to do, and I know what I'm going to do for that, and it's going to be really cool. So I'm excited about that. So I don't think, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it's a little bit flat still for me. but this is where you want to come in and just kind of add things that might give you a little bit of texture. Like, I think I don't need this whole piece, but I think, and I can see that cardstock there, which I don't like, but I think if I put that there, I still can see the netting, this lace, I still can see the texture of that piece there. So I am going to put this down, and then I did bring some of my paper over here. So let's see, what else can I put on here? I probably could do, a tassel. That's kind of cool. I think I'll do that. That gives us a little bit of motion. You have to be careful because you don't want too much bulk, because this is going to go on a page. So you don't want a lot of bulk. I think I want something up there simply because I don't really like to see that edge there. So I could put the other piece of that Battenberg lace, and I think I will. That will work. And then I think we'll look at some of the paper and see if we want any of the paper on here. I've got more on my fingers. So get this out of here. We don't need to see that. So that's kind of cool. But as you can see, looking at that, this has more. This looks like it is not complete if you look at the difference between the two. Now, what I had mentioned before, somebody sent me this, and they sent it wrapped around this piece of cardstock here, which is so neat. And if I didn't have the pearls and I didn't have that maybe where it was, this would be really cool here. And then maybe, you know, pieces of lace. We might do that on the other side. Let's see where this is going to go, because when I'm doing this, I never know where it's going to take me. And I did bring this back. We worked with this yesterday when we did the little booklets, and I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did then. And let's just make some loops. This, in case anybody's wondering, is I think it would be found in the yarn section, but I don't know where it came from. So I had a friend that may have picked it up at the dollar store, but she picked up some for herself, and then she picked up some for me. So when that happens, I never can share where you can go to get that because I didn't get it. Let's see if I can knot this, make my loops. And then let's see what we might want to do with this. Oh, I kind of like that. And then maybe I just went and punched out just some papers. That's pretty. This is Stamperia, and one thing I like about Stamperia is, you know, the cover, both the front and the back cover have beautiful papers on the other side, so I never ever throw the covers out. I always use them. This was part of the cover. That might be cute. Wonder if it's a little bit too much pink, is what my brain is thinking. I think I like that. So let's go with this, and I'm not going to worry about distressing it. That's not a really big deal. So let's glue this on. Put a little tad of glue right there. And then glue this down. I think you're going to see this even if it isn't distressed. So I don't really know, should we keep this short and sweet? This would be really cute with a label on top of it or a word. We're going to match, but it might give you an idea. Well, that's kind of cute, isn't it? Here is something that says 10 days. I don't know where I got that. I don't know if that's a Tracy. Why would it say? I don't know. 10 days. 10 days to what? I don't know. Let's use it. That's cute, cute. I like it. So, yeah, let's use that. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm sitting there thinking 10 days to what? 10 days, it doesn't make sense to me. So, let me keep looking. Sorry, guys. I'm like 10 days. Maybe put one on that's a little bit smaller. This is what happens. You're just rooting around, but you will find something. Maybe this right here. You see what this looks like. I like that. Let's just use that. If I don't put this down and use this, we're going to be here all day looking at labels. So let's do this, and then for those of you that aren't bored to tears and you want to hang around, let's go ahead and do the other side as well. Might as well, right? And maybe we on the other side. Oh, that's so cute. What do you think? Look at that. That's so cute. Now, how is this going to look on a page? Because after all, that's what it's all about. Look at, oh, that is cute. That is really cute. I do think a couple buttons, which I don't have over here with me, would be really, really sweet. Let me see. I've got a piece of this. Tends to really fray. No. It's like a absolutely not. And let's see, maybe a little piece of, let's try a little piece of this. Sometimes when I take apart crochet work that somebody's sat and done with their hands, I just feel so bad, but yet at the same time, I'm like, look at, it's being used, it's gonna go on it. Okay, that's what we need right there. We need a piece of this. Yes, we do. See what I mean about just kind of scouting? And the whole thing doesn't have to be down. We'll just put that part down. Oh, yep, that's what it needs. And I can see my bottle here is to the point where it needs to be diluted. Yes, that's what that needs right there. So let us tack this down right underneath here. And it's okay if we can see that. Why not? So this is what I mean about not wanting to stitch it. If I stitched it, I would lose this movement. I would lose the movement of my threads unless I stitched first. I would lose my tassel. And I think there's a time to stitch and a time not to stitch. And so, yeah. So let's turn this over, and we really are going to basically be repeating the process all over again, doing the same thing. And I'm going to see if I can get that die cut of the dress form on. See if we can use that. Let's use some of this, some of this. Definitely want that. Put a piece of lace down. Put a piece of lace going this way. And maybe a piece of this lace. And I think once you do this, you'll do it faster and faster because you're not, you know, don't be afraid, because if you put something down that you don't like, you can cover it up with something else. So just layer and keep going. Let's have something stick out. This is going to be our outside edge of the journal page. So let's have some really pretty lace sticking out of that, like that. And so we need a little bit of glue here to keep this down, just a touch, because it doesn't have to be completely down. You want it to be able to flow a little bit. And then maybe another piece of this beautiful textured lace or crochet work. Put that on there like that. And how about a piece of this on this side. I need a piece down here, so if I can get it to not stick to me. It's a little bit big. Goober strings to deal with the goober strings. One little tip that I will give you is it is faster if you just get your lace pieces that you have and then just start cutting them or ripping them, so that they're like this and they're just kind of laid out and you can see what you've got to see what you can use. It will go faster than if you sit and try to put it together like a puzzle. Go ahead and cut it and then work with what you have. I think that's a tip that I think would save you some time. And also then you're not thinking so much about what you have, you know, what's gonna fit here, what will go there. You've got just these pieces and you have to use these pieces. So, and don't worry about ends like this. Ends are good. You can see we're really rolling along right now. It's coming together. It's working. I'm trying to catch up with the goobers on my bottle. If I work fast, I can use them up and I don't have to worry about them so much. I definitely want to use this piece here. So I had that one little piece of lace. Let's use it. It's this piece here. It's really pretty. I cut it off from the one on the other side. I mean, look at how pretty this is. Sorry guys, my hands are just stuck together. Then I do want to use this little piece of netting. We used it on the other side. Let's use it on this side. I kind of like that. So let's get this down and then put that netting on. You know, I think with all of this, you don't want it to look perfect. You don't want it to be perfect. It doesn't have to be vertical. It doesn't have to be horizontal. It can be whichever way you want it. I will put this piece on, then let's see what that one die cut looks like. That's really pretty. I will put this piece on after there is no pink in this, but I don't think it matters. We could put that on. Let's use it. Why not? Let's use it. Oh, this piece. Okay, well, see, now it's decision time. Okay, if I think out loud, I would say to you that this all washes out. You can't really see it. So I am going for this side here because that's where the color is. And then let's see what happens when we put a little bit of lace over and around this. Let's see what we get. Strings, I've got strings. See, it's not covering up the work. And then this, because you can see through. Yes, I like that. And I think I really only need to put it just a little bit right there because it's going to hold it. It's not going to go anywhere. This right here. So it's still going to move, which I like. I can get my fingers off of here. And then we don't need any of this, but we need now, excuse me, because we have brought in a solid piece of something, we don't want to lose the fact that we have lace. So that looks like glasses, doesn't it? We are not using that. This will cover it up. So you know what? My mind is thinking maybe what I need to do. Can you tell that's a form if I do that? Or does the form just kind of disappear? You know it's a form if I do that, but I don't like that at all. I don't think. Sorry guys, I do not want to bore you. I've got pink down here, pink up there, put a little bit of pink there. No, maybe to take a little piece of our string and tie a bow here might look good. Or I could That's cute. Maybe I'll do that. Is it too much? Too much going on there? I could put this there like that. And let's see what string would look like if we do that. Don't need a lot. Don't need it to be big. What would this look like? Maybe, and maybe then a button on this. I don't have any buttons with me. But I wonder, could put a button there, or let's see, I think that's way too much. Do I want this on there? I think I like that. Let's put that down there. You can see what happens. You just kind of, let's see what we look like. Let's see, I probably glued us together. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, I did glue us together just a little bit. That's so cute. I think, okay, a flower or a button, probably a button, because I think a button, I like the idea of a button with the form. That's too much. I feel like it just needs, that's way too much. Well, that's kind of cute. But see, my thought is if I do that, then the other side needs something. So that's really cute, but then I need something up here. So you know what I think I'm gonna do, guys? And you're going to have to, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this there, and then I think I'll put a button here, and I'll put 1 or 2 buttons up at the top. And I'm just gonna have to do it off camera because I don't have any buttons with me, and I don't think, I wonder if a piece of lace with a seed bead, would that work? Oh, the mind. You never know where your mind's going. So if I took 1, put that there with seed beads. Does she look like she's wearing she's wearing an apron? I don't want her to look like she's wearing an apron. That's kind of cute. Let's do it. This video is going to go on and on forever at this rate. So let me get a needle and thread. We're not going to need a lot, maybe 3 seed beads. Let me make a knot. So come up here. And then I have to find seed beads, of course, that will go through this needle. I need a bead needle, and I don't have one, so it's always a, are you gonna go through, or are you gonna get stuck? That went through. Let's see, this looks big. Let's see what that does. So there's 3. I think 3 is good. So what I'm going to do is anchor the end. And then I'm going to come up the middle and just tack the beads down. By coming up the middle, hopefully you can see that I'm up the middle, and then I'm just going to go down so that it tacks the center of the beads down, and then make some kind of a knot. And I'm not too worried about it because there'll be glue on it. So let's see what that will look like. These ends off. Cute. All right, guys, we're going to do this. So I hope you like this idea, and I hope you'll give it a try. And it'd be nice to have glue that came out of the bottle. Come on. There we go. With strings. I could take the other half and do that with seed beads. What do you think? Maybe, huh? I think that might be cute. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So 2 very, very different looks. That's cute, so cute. Very, very cute. All right, let's see. Don't have a real journal in front of me, so we would have that like that, turning the page, then we would have that. Very, very cute. Easy, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you can take something away from this, and that you will go ahead and get out your fabrics, your laces, your ribbons, your papers, whatever you have that's sitting there staring at you, just saying, use me up, use me up. And yeah, go make yourself some. I hope you like this. I hope you have a really, really great Wednesday. And I am going to be working on my Artie Mae's design team project for September. And I'm gonna start working on what's in the box, so should be a lot of fun, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, guys, and I will catch you really soon. Bye now.